Joining me now is Beverly head coach Jeff Hutton for a session of Panther Review, where we'll take a look back on the 2022 Beverly High School Panther football season and maybe just project a little bit ahead into next season. Jeff, tough season, not the way you wanted to probably end the season. What were the projections heading into this year?
Well, I think we were hoping to build on some of the momentum from making the playoffs last year in our first year as a staff year. We didn't have a ton of experience coming back from last year. I think it was highlighted in the Salem News that of our whatever the number rushing yards, we were close to 3,000 rushing yards last year as a team, maybe 2,900. We only had 53 yards returning from that offense. So, and not a single passing yard. So we were really young at some key positions. But I thought we had a great spring, great summer. Workouts were great, and we had some good scrimmages. And I thought we were kind of moving in that direction. I know the seniors, in their time in the program, the varsity hasn't had a winning record. So we were like, that's our goal. Let's get a winning record, right? And that's always a goal. Winning record, make the playoffs, win the league, and then win Thanksgiving, So some of those goals were still there, and we thought that we were making progress. And then, we had some COVID that hit, that took out 6 of our starters for the first game of the season. And in spite of that, I thought we battled against Haverhill, and that was a much improved Haverhill team. And we found out Tuesday, so we had 2.5 days to prep for guys out of position. But still thinking, okay, that's a little blip in the radar. Let's get back on track. We get these guys back. And I just felt like we never got back to where we were as far as that confidence level and compete level that we had in the summer scrimmages.
As the season wears on, those first 6 games, it's one loss after another. You keep coming up short. How did you as a staff keep the kids focused on the next week?
Well, we just tried to increase our level of competition at practice, because we felt that was one of the things that, if you were, X's and O's or whatever, but the one thing that we needed to emphasize or improve on was our competition level. And I felt like at times, we kind of looked like, we didn't really want to be there, and I think that's a recurring theme throughout the season. And, you probably get into it in a second when we actually did win a few games. We were more engaged. But I felt like overall for the whole season, we didn't have that, and that falls on us as a staff. How do we bring that out? And it took us a while to get some traction. And I think that was our number one emphasis, is how can we add more competition in practice so when situations like that in a game come about, we're ready for it.
Okay, so 0-6 to start the season, changes were made. Healthy bodies got back into the starting lineup, and you win 3 in a row, looking very good while doing so. How did things change in your eyes?
Well, I just think, like you said, we got some key guys back who are not only good players, but what I would consider some of our leaders. They're the kids that show up to practice every day, right? They work hard. You don't have to worry. Are they giving 100%? Because they're giving 100%. And we needed more guys like that, but maybe they were just waiting for the right guys to bring that out, and because, we had some great guys and great seniors, but, everyone has different leadership styles, but, we needed more guys to model certain behavior, and I think we got that in that middle to the end, even though we lost to Marblehead. I thought as far as competition and kids being engaged and our sideline being into it, that kind of was that spark. We played as well as we could have, and that's the old thing. We say there's no shame in losing if you give it your best, right? But there's always shame if you quit or you don't try. And we felt after that game we've got something now. Now we can fix things. Now we've got the effort. Now we've got the intensity. Now we've got the compete level. Now we can work on the X's and O's.
I'm going to ask you a tough one. Who were some of the kids that stepped up that maybe hadn't had a bigger role earlier in the season, but now demonstrated to you and your staff that, hey, we can play?
Yeah, well, I mean, you have to look at a kid like Logan Petrosino. I mean, he was kind of our Swiss Army knife. He's a guy who was battling for our quarterback position, was a starter from day one at the cornerback on defense, and really wherever we needed him. And he, very excited that he took that role. Like, I'll do whatever it takes for the team, coach, and we needed more guys like that. I mean, he played running back for us, receiver. He was our wildcat quarterback, and wherever we needed him, he really helped kind of like springboard us through that 3-game winning streak. We got Brendan McCarron, who was one of our leaders on defense. Only played 4 or 5 games this season, but we won 3 of those 4 or 5 that he played in. A kid like Ben Herring, who actually made the all-conference team just as a linebacker, undersized. But a kid as a junior took major leaps as a sophomore. Matt Sopp, also another all-conference player for the league. He was, in short, great spurts when we were humming on offense. He had 6 touchdowns, led our team in scoring, and was a two-way starter from day one. So guys like that were really instrumental in that 3-game winning streak there.
All right, let's project next year. What's coming back, and again, what are you looking for?
Well, I think we're in a much better position as far as game experience. We started at certain points 2 or 3 sophomores, right? We had no sophomores that played last year. We'll probably, I think we're returning 2 or 3 starters on the offensive line, and someone who was a spot starter here and there. We're getting most of our secondary back. We're in, up the middle, we'll have our nose tackle, both inside linebackers, and 2 safeties coming back. So I like where we're going this year into the offseason than where we were at this point, because who's going to do this? Where can we move this guy? Where is this guy going to be better suited? So now we have guys with experience in our system. And, last year we were a different defense 2 years ago, and now we had a new defensive coordinator, so it took us time to learn that as well. So I feel we as a staff and as a program are in better shape, and the kids will hopefully feed off of that.
Jeff, listen, I want to thank you for being available on a weekly basis to continue our Panther preview interviews, and your willingness to meet after games for some post-game comments. Wasn't always the easiest situation, I'm sure, but really appreciate it. You're a big part of MSO's coverage of the North Shore, as all the Beverly coaches have been since Dan Bauer. So just want to thank you and wish you the best of luck over the winter.
I appreciate it, Tim. We love anyone that paints us in a great light, so thank you.
Okay. That's been Jeff Hutton, Beverly football head coach on MSO News Sports.